There are certain moments in life that carry the weight of eternity. A single decision, a single act, a single choice can alter everything that follows. Transformation does not necessarily demand years of waiting or endless preparation. It begins in one instant, the moment when you decide that you will no longer remain as you are. That moment may look small to the outside world, but inside, it marks the birth of a new life. The truth is, one decision can carry more power than a lifetime of hesitation, because decisions are what shape destiny. Every great transformation in history, every story of success, every breakthrough that has ever happened, began with someone saying, "Enough is enough, today I choose differently." When you think about it, life is built on the foundation of choices. Every day you make hundreds of them. What time to wake up, what to eat, what to focus on, how to respond to people, where to put your energy. Most of these decisions are small, unconscious, and routine. But every once in a while, there comes a decision that can shift your trajectory completely. Choosing to leave a toxic environment, choosing to pursue a dream despite the odds, choosing to stand up after failure, choosing to finally prioritize your health, choosing to say no to what diminishes you and yes to what strengthens you. These decisions change lives. They may not look monumental at first glance, but they redirect your path forever. The reason transformation begins in a single decision is that a decision is a declaration of power. It is a moment when you take back authority over your life. Until you decide, you remain a victim of circumstances, trapped in cycles, waiting for external change. But when you decide, you step into ownership. You say, "I am responsible for my future." That shift in mindset is the birthplace of transformation. A person can live for decades in mediocrity, but the moment they make a firm decision to rise, their story begins to change. The power was always within them, but it was unlocked by one conscious choice. It is easy to believe that transformation requires massive, dramatic action, but the reality is that the first step is internal. The moment you decide that your life will not remain the same, you ignite a force within you that begins to align everything around you. Opportunities appear because you are now looking for them. Strength rises because you are now demanding it from yourself. People begin to treat you differently because you have redefined your identity through your decision. The outer world shifts when the inner world decides. That is why one decision is so powerful, it transforms who you are, not just what you do. Think about how many people delay decisions, waiting for the perfect time. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow, when conditions are better, when they feel ready, when everything is lined up. But tomorrow never arrives. Readiness is a myth. Conditions are never perfect. The truth is, transformation does not wait for convenience. It begins in discomfort. It begins in the moment when you are afraid, uncertain, and unprepared, yet you decide to move anyway. The decision to act despite fear is the spark of growth. One day of courage can outweigh years of hesitation. The most extraordinary aspect of a decision is that it redefines identity. When you decide to stop being defined by your past, your failures, or your fears, you create a new version of yourself. That version may not yet have achieved everything you dream of, but it is real the moment you commit. Identity is not what you have done, it is what you decide to do from now on. The decision to rise, to act, to commit is enough to mark the turning point. Many people wait until they have proof that they can succeed, but proof only arrives after decision. You cannot wait for evidence to decide. You decide, and then you create the evidence through action. One decision also carries momentum. Imagine a person standing at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. For hours, days, or even years, they hesitate, paralyzed by indecision. But the moment they choose a direction and take a step, momentum is created. Each step after that becomes easier because movement breeds movement. Similarly, one decision in life breaks the paralysis of hesitation and puts you into motion. That motion builds confidence, and confidence builds more action, until what once seemed impossible becomes your new reality. The beauty of decision is that it is not about perfection. You do not need to know every step ahead. You do not need to have the whole journey mapped out. You only need to decide to begin. Many people delay transformation because they want certainty. But life does not reward certainty. It rewards commitment. When you commit, the path reveals itself. Opportunities you could not see before become visible. People you needed to meet suddenly appear. Strength you thought you lacked rises within you. But none of this happens until you decide. There is also an emotional release in making a firm decision. Indecision is exhausting. It drains energy, creates anxiety, and keeps you trapped in cycles of doubt. But the moment you decide, you experience clarity. Even if the path ahead is difficult, you now know where you are going. The fog lifts. Energy is no longer wasted on debating, and it is redirected toward action. That surge of clarity and energy is often what propels people into breakthroughs. The relief of decision itself is transformative. Consider the countless stories of individuals who lived ordinary, even painful lives, until one day they made a single choice that changed everything. The decision to walk away from a destructive habit, the decision to leave behind a limiting environment, the decision to pursue a dream that others laughed at, the decision to forgive and free themselves from bitterness. These decisions reshaped entire lives. What these stories reveal is that transformation is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone who dares to decide. The extraordinary is born from the ordinary moment of saying, "Today I choose differently." The fear of making the wrong decision often keeps people stuck. They believe that waiting will protect them from failure, but in reality, not deciding is the greatest failure of all. Indecision robs you of progress, of growth, of opportunities. Even if a decision does not lead exactly where you imagined, it leads somewhere, and from there you can adjust, learn, and keep moving forward. Movement is always better than stagnation. Progress is always better than paralysis. The courage to decide is the courage to live. A single decision also has the power to inspire others. When one person chooses to change, they create a ripple effect. Family members, friends, colleagues, even strangers can be touched by the courage of that decision. A person who decides to live with discipline may inspire others to do the same. A person who decides to pursue a dream may spark courage in those who had buried their own dreams. Transformation is contagious. Your single decision can change not only your life, but the lives of those around you. It is important to remember that the decision itself is only the beginning. Transformation begins in the decision, but it grows through consistent action. Yet the action would never exist without the initial moment of choice. That is why the decision is the turning point. Once you choose, you align your thoughts, your actions, and your energy with that choice. The power of a decision lies in the fact that it creates alignment. Before the decision, your energy is scattered, pulled in many directions. After the decision, your energy is focused like a laser, capable of cutting through obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. One day, one moment, one decision. That is all it takes. A decision to rise early and reclaim discipline. A decision to let go of excuses and take responsibility. A decision to begin building the life you have always imagined. These choices are available every day, but they carry the most power the moment you finally commit. And when you commit, when you truly decide, your entire life begins to transform. Today is the only time that truly belongs to you. The past is already written and cannot be rewritten. The future is uncertain and may never arrive the way you imagine it. The only space you truly hold power over is this moment, this day, this hour. Yet many people live their lives chained to yesterday's regrets or trapped in tomorrow's promises. They postpone their growth, saying they will start later, but later is just another name for never. Transformation only happens when you recognize that the present is the only tool you have to build the life you want. The habit of postponement is one of the greatest thieves of potential. It whispers that change will be easier tomorrow, that discipline will feel more natural later, that courage will come when the conditions are perfect. But perfection is a mirage, forever shifting further away. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. What is guaranteed is the day in front of you, the set of hours waiting for you to shape them. Every dream ever achieved, every success story ever told, was built not in an abstract future, but in the actions taken today. The person who takes ownership of this truth becomes unstoppable. When you realize that today is the only time you truly have, your perspective shifts. Each morning is no longer just another day. It becomes a new opportunity to rewrite your story. You stop dragging the weight of yesterday into the present, because yesterday no longer defines you. What matters is what you do now. You stop waiting for tomorrow to bring courage, because courage only appears when it is used in the present. You begin to see every sunrise as life handing you fresh clay to mold, daring you to shape it into something meaningful. It is easy to let the present slip through your fingers. Distractions tempt you. Comfort lulls you. Fear of failure convinces you to delay, but the cost of delay is massive. Each time you say, "I will start later," You are teaching your mind that your dreams are not urgent, that your growth can wait, that your future is not worth immediate effort. That teaching sinks deeper until procrastination becomes an identity. On the other hand, when you use today intentionally, you teach yourself that your life matters now, that your future begins in this moment, that your dreams deserve action today. That lesson, repeated daily, transforms not only your habits but your identity. There is power in immediacy. When you act today, you build momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior, because it makes future actions easier. The hardest step is always the first one. But if you take that step today, tomorrow's step is lighter, and the next one lighter still. By delaying action, you allow inertia to grow, and inertia is a heavy chain. By acting now, you break that chain and set yourself in motion. This is why the most successful people live with urgency. They do not waste the day waiting for tomorrow's promises. They use today to its fullest and trust that the future will take care of itself. Focusing on today also frees you from the burden of overwhelm. Many people look at their goals and become paralyzed because the dream feels too big, the mountain too high. They ask themselves how they will ever reach the summit. The truth is, you don't climb a mountain in one step. You climb it by placing one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. If you focus on the present step, you not only make progress, but you also find peace in the journey. Breaking goals into daily actions turns impossible visions into achievable realities. What overwhelms you in the abstract future becomes manageable in the concrete present. This focus on today also sharpens your awareness of choice. Every day presents hundreds of small decisions. Alone, they may feel unimportant, but together, they shape your character and your destiny. What you eat, what you read, how you move, how you speak, how you think, these are all choices you make today, and they echo into tomorrow. By mastering your daily choices, you master your life. Waiting for the future to improve without changing your present decisions is like waiting for a tree to grow without planting the seed. The seed must go into the ground today. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the future. It means creating the future by acting now. Dreams require vision, but vision without action is a fantasy. You can visualize the life you want endlessly, but unless you act on it today, it remains locked in your imagination. Every great achievement is nothing more than the accumulation of daily actions, stacked one upon another until they form something extraordinary. Today is one of those actions. What you choose to do right now is part of the architecture of your future. Another hidden power of today is the ability to break free from the chains of the past. Many people sabotage their own progress because they cannot let go of mistakes they made yesterday, last week, or even years ago. They relive their failures, carrying shame into every new day. But when you truly embrace the present, you give yourself permission to start fresh. Today is not yesterday. The mistakes you made then do not define what you can do now. Each day is a reset button. You are not bound to repeat your past unless you choose to. The freedom of today is that it allows you to rise from your past and step into a new identity. Discipline becomes easier when it is anchored in today. People who struggle with self-control often try to commit forever. I will never eat unhealthy again, or I will always wake up early. The weight of forever feels unbearable, and they crumble. But if you commit only to today, the task becomes manageable. You do not need to conquer forever. You only need to conquer the next 24 hours. Anyone can practice discipline for a day, and when you string together enough days, discipline becomes who you are. By focusing only on today, you build habits without overwhelming yourself with the burden of eternity. There is also a joy in living fully in the present. Too many people rush through life, always looking ahead, never savoring the now. They believe happiness will come when they achieve some future milestone, but in chasing the future, they miss the beauty of today. The irony is that happiness is always experienced in the present. You cannot feel joy tomorrow, you can only feel it now. By slowing down, by embracing today, you find meaning not only in your goals but in the journey itself. Success without presence feels empty, but success built through daily awareness feels fulfilling. The discipline of focusing on today sharpens resilience. When life throws challenges your way, you do not need to solve everything at once. You only need to get through today. You only need to face this one battle, this one obstacle, this one step. By anchoring yourself in today, you prevent yourself from being crushed by the weight of the future. You find strength in manageable doses. Resilience grows not by imagining how you will endure a lifetime of struggle, but by proving to yourself that you can endure this day, and then the next, and then the next. Every revolution in history, every breakthrough invention, every masterpiece of art, every act of courage was created not in the abstract concept of someday, but in the reality of today. Someone sat down, picked up their tools, and worked in the present. Someone chose courage in the moment instead of waiting for courage to arrive in the future. Someone acted now instead of delaying, and those acts became the foundation of history. Your own history is no different. The decision to use today intentionally will shape the story you tell tomorrow. Living for today also means recognizing the fragility of time. Life is not infinite. None of us are promised endless tomorrows. This is not meant to create fear, but to create urgency. The awareness that today is a gift sharpens your focus on what truly matters. Petty distractions lose their power. Excuses lose their appeal. You stop wasting time on things that do not align with your purpose, because you know each day is precious and unrepeatable. That urgency brings clarity, and that clarity brings strength. The lesson is simple but profound. Today is the only time you truly have. The past cannot hold you unless you let it. The future will never arrive unless you create it. All that matters is the present moment, the present choice, the present action. Master today, and you master life. Ignore today, and you forfeit your future. It is not tomorrow that changes you. It is what you do now, in this moment, on this day. Even the smallest action taken in a single day can spark a chain reaction that alters everything that follows. This is the hidden power of a single step. It does not remain contained in the moment it is taken. It ripples outward, influencing tomorrow, shaping habits, and building a new direction for your life. Many people underestimate the value of one act, one choice, one effort because they believe transformation requires something massive, something overwhelming. In reality, transformation is born from consistency, and consistency is born from the ripple effect of one small decision acted upon today. Think of how water moves when a single stone is dropped into it. The ripples travel far beyond the point of contact, affecting the entire surface. A small motion creates movement everywhere. Human life works in the same way. A decision to wake up early today is not just about waking up early. It builds momentum for productivity, discipline, and focus that may carry into the whole week. Choosing to learn something for an hour today may ignite a passion that becomes a lifelong pursuit. Deciding to speak with kindness today may strengthen a relationship that shapes your future in ways you cannot predict. The first ripple is small, but its reach is vast. The problem is that many people dismiss the power of small actions because they are obsessed with dramatic change. They want to see transformation immediately, and when it doesn't happen, they abandon the effort. They forget that even the tallest trees began as seeds. The seed did not appear mighty on the first day. It was barely visible, vulnerable, fragile. But nurtured consistently, its roots dug deeper, its trunk grew stronger, and eventually it towered above everything around it. The ripple effect of a single planted seed changed the entire landscape. Likewise, your one step may feel insignificant now, but over time, it reshapes your world. There is a science behind why small steps matter so much. Human behavior is guided by habits, and habits are formed by repetition. Every time you repeat an action, you strengthen the neural pathways in your brain associated with that action. The more often you do it, the more automatic it becomes, but the process always begins with one choice. When you decide to take that first small step, you are not only creating a momentary action, you are initiating a pattern. That pattern repeated becomes a habit, that habit maintained becomes a lifestyle. And that lifestyle becomes your destiny. What begins as one ripple becomes the entire current of your life. The beauty of small steps is that they are achievable. When people stare at the enormity of their goals, they become overwhelmed. The mountain feels impossible to climb, the dream too distant, the gap too wide. But when you break it down into a single step, the impossible becomes possible. You may not be able to transform your life in a single leap, but you can read one page, write one sentence, run 1 mile, practice 1 hour, save $1. These single acts create momentum. They are the proof to yourself that change is possible. And that proof builds belief, and belief fuels more action. Momentum is the secret weapon of achievement. Once you are moving, staying in motion becomes easier. A person sitting on the couch may feel paralyzed at the thought of running a marathon, but the moment they put on their shoes and take the first step outside, something changes. The resistance begins to fade, and the momentum of action carries them further than they thought possible. This is why the ripple effect is so powerful. It breaks the grip of inertia. Inertia holds people back, convincing them to wait, to delay, to stay still. But one step shatters it, and once shattered, movement takes over. Small actions also compound over time. Consider the effect of saving a small amount of money every day. At first, it feels like nothing, but weeks turn into months, and months into years, and suddenly you have built something substantial. The same principle applies to skills, health, relationships, and character. Reading a few pages a day makes you wise over decades. Exercising for half an hour daily makes you strong for life. Speaking with kindness each day builds bonds that last forever. The compounding effect is invisible in the short term, but undeniable in the long term. One ripple becomes a wave. The ripple effect works in the opposite direction as well. Neglecting one small action can lead to devastating results. Skipping discipline today may feel harmless, but repeated often enough, it builds a habit of laziness. Indulging in one unhealthy choice may seem insignificant, but repeated often enough, it erodes health. Speaking one harsh word may feel like nothing, but repeated often enough, it destroys trust. Just as positive actions ripple outward, so do negative ones. This is why every small choice matters. You are always planting seeds, either for growth or for decay. The question is not whether your choices have ripple effects. They always do. The question is what kind of ripples you are creating. The ripple effect of a single step is also psychological. Every time you follow through on a decision, you strengthen your identity as someone who can be trusted by yourself. The opposite is also true. Every time you break your own promises, you weaken your trust in yourself. Identity is shaped by what you repeatedly do. If you act disciplined, you become disciplined. If you act courageous, you become courageous. Each action is not just about the result, it is about who you are becoming. A single step taken today declares to yourself, I am the kind of person who acts. That declaration grows louder with each repeated choice until it becomes unshakable. One of the most liberating truths is that you don't need to know the entire path before you take the first step. Too many people freeze because they want certainty. They want to see the whole staircase before they move, but life does not work that way. The path is revealed step by step. Each action you take today reveals the next. The ripple effect is not only about building habits, it is about uncovering possibilities you cannot yet imagine. By taking one small step, you may open doors you never knew existed, meet people you never expected, discover passions you never considered. The ripple effect expands not only what you do, but who you become. The power of the ripple effect also lies in its ability to inspire others. People watch actions more than they listen to words. When you begin to change through small, consistent steps, those around you notice. They may not say anything at first, but your ripples reach them. Your discipline may inspire someone else to begin their own journey. Your courage may spark courage in someone else. Your kindness may ripple into kindness in another person. Transformation spreads through influence, and influence is amplified by consistency. One small act can ripple outward far beyond what you ever see. Patience is the companion of the ripple effect. Because small actions do not bring immediate dramatic change, many people quit too early. They dig only a few inches into the soil before abandoning the effort, not realizing they were close to striking water. The ripple effect teaches you to trust the process, to plant the seed, water it daily, and allow time to do its work. The harvest does not come on the first day, but it comes to those who are faithful in the daily actions. The wave builds slowly, but once it rises, it is unstoppable. The most powerful transformations in life often begin quietly. No applause, no spotlight, no audience, just a single step taken in silence. Choosing to rise early and work on your dream while the world sleeps. Choosing to practice discipline when no one is watching. Choosing to improve yourself without needing recognition. These private ripples eventually become public waves. The world only sees the results later, but you know the truth. It began with one quiet step. At its core, the ripple effect of one step is about ownership. It reminds you that you are not powerless, no matter how far your dreams may seem, no matter how heavy your struggles feel. You hold the power to create change by acting now, in this moment, with what you have. You do not need to fix everything at once. You only need to take the first step, and trust that it will lead to the next. Small actions build big lives. One step is not the whole journey, but it is the beginning of every journey.